Hi all, let's logically look at the second tiebreak game today. So this is in the Qatar Masters. Yangyi was playing white this time against Magnus Carlsen and kicked off with d4. So the time limit is 5 minutes each with 3-second increment and a big prize fund at stake if it really is to decide the financial difference between first prize and second prize. So we see Magnus playing knight f6. After c4 we see e6, wanting a Nmsa. So white needs to win this to create another tiebreak match. So the matches are like in two game matches. So we see knight c3, Magnus playing the Nmsa, bishop b4. We have knight f3. This is the third most popular move in this position. Kasparov has used it successfully against Karpov though in World Chess Championships, as we've seen. e3 is the most popular over the history of time, it seems, and queen c2 second most popular. Knight f3 though. b6, trying to exert an influence on the e4 square usually. Quite popular here is bishop g5. This is also well trodden. e3, bishop b7. We see bishop d3. Black castled. White castled. Now Magnus plays c5, and believe it or not, the top move in live book, which is played, is actually here knight a4, and it carries an idea that white will play a3 and then maybe take here and then take on c5 if black's not careful. The slight downside of the knight on a4, it's only protected by the queen. A knight on the rim is dim. Is it going to be a potentially loose piece in the future if it doesn't return back? We see c takes d4, which opens up this diagonal for the bishop to retreat. And in fact now rook e8 vacates f8 for that bishop to retreat all the way back if needed. a3, and the bishop uses that new parking spot made available. Bishop goes back to f8. Bishop f4. And here we see Magnus using quite a remarkable forcing sequence. In live book there's two games at least with d6 in this position. There's one with knight c6. Magnus chooses a forcing move in this position. Bishop takes f3, weakening basically the d4 square a bit. After queen takes f3, the follow-up to defend the rook and to counter-attack the center, knight c6 is played. So a very interesting position. Technically, one of the weaknesses of white's last moves is to leave this piece fully unprotected. It is a loose piece on the side at the moment, so bear that in mind. Now let's just check this position. With the white pawn attacked, the engine suggestion, well, bishop e5 comes up or queen h3 here. For example, knight takes d4, bishop e5 is very, very nice for white. For example, like this, g4. This is dangerous. Winning a piece, in fact, because of the pressure on h7. So that's a dynamic treatment here, just to ignore the threat and try and create a more significant threat. So queen h3 appears to be one of the stronger moves. Queen e3 is also mentioned, in which case d5, and this position should be a slight edge for white, maybe, even though white's got the isolated queen's pawn. Black could blockade. Black's comfortable enough in this sort of position. So it seems by far the strongest move for white here was queen h3. But we see instead the move d5. This might be a slight slip up already. After e takes d5, opening up the rook, c takes, Magnus forks now queen and bishop, and perhaps best is to actually snap this off, take this off. Maybe this is one of white's better choices, like this, and even, you know, dynamically just sack a pawn, This position is quite dangerous for black, and white has some dynamic play, some dynamic compensation. this pawn in the center is a bit vulnerable. The bishop looks dangerous. There's some prospects here for white. But instead, we see the queen getting out of the way of the glare of the rook and trying to keep protection of d3 here. You might think, well, there's a few moves that do that. What about queen h3? Well, it's similar a little bit to the game actually, or queen g3. It's similar to the game, which is queen d1. So I won't spoil what happens here for you. Can you guess black to play? What does Magnus Carlsen play in this position? You might want to pause the video here for 5 seconds. I'll give you 5 seconds to pause the video and spend as long as you like. Yeah, there's a slight snag with white's position here, and it's black to play here to exploit certain problem about white's position. So black to play, and if you think about forcing moves here, there's quite a destructive forcing move sequence where black ends up with a huge material gain, well, a winning material gain. So black to play, can you guess? Well, a forcing move here which snaps off the bishop and kind of weakens white's control of e4, and it so happens black's got a good control of e4 here and plays. Yes, I hope you found this continuation. 5 seconds more. Rook e4. Oh my word. A super grandmaster. I know it's blitz chess, but it was with increment 3 seconds a move as well. Has just blundered a piece with the white pieces. Has completely blundered a piece in this continuation. White just resigned here. Yes, a bit of a shocking end to the Qatar Masters. A simple loose piece liability being exploited basically in the end. Well, there's two loose pieces in this position and they're both forked. They can't defend each other. The bishop can't sort of defend over there. There's no double defense. The queen can't stretch out to defend both. There's no way. A piece is dropping off here for sure after this double attack. There's no double defense available for white. There's no cunning counter attack. It's just losing a piece. Just to make 100% sure here, what is the top engine move? Bishop g3 is mentioned. White's just a piece down. Yes, if bishop g3, that doesn't bode well. Yeah, an abrupt end. And so Magnus won the tie breaks. No need for another little tie break match. Okay, I hope you got something from these Qatar games, and there's a festival of very exciting chess that had been played, and so maybe as part of the notable game series coming up over the next few days and weeks, or in the future, I'll pick games from other players in this tournament. I did have an emphasis on the World Chess Champion. He's particularly interesting to me to track the World Chess Champion at the moment. But there's been a lot of exciting chess that was played over this period, and I hope you enjoyed some of the selection that I've given you and this interesting tie break. Okay, comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.